Hello my beautiful yogis, and welcome to Yoga with Leif and this full body Vinyasa Flow class. Now, for those of you who might be brand new to yoga or beginners, this class is going to be a little bit advanced, a little bit more difficult. I'm not going to give so many cues, and there is a bit of a flow element, so we're not going to be in each pose for too long. But if you are a beginner, I do have other classes on my channel that will be better suited for you. And for everybody else, it's kind of like a short ladder flow, for those of you who are familiar with that. So we have a sequence that I build on a little bit. So we'll repeat it a little bit, and then I'll add a few more poses each time. And then we have a little heart opener core flow after. Followed by a handstand, some Shishasana stuff before we do Shavasana, and to relax at the end of the class. So without further ado, get yourself ready, and I'll see you on the mat. All right guys, so we're gonna start today in a nice comfortable sitting position. Maybe you have a pillow under your bum to sit a little bit higher up if that feels a little bit more comfortable for you, in your, in particular in your hip flexors. Your knees about the same height as your hips. Find some length in your spine. You can drop your gaze down in front of you, close your eyes, finding some length in our spine. And then we're gonna go ahead and move our awareness inwards. Noticing how we feel today, noticing how the body is. And if there's any discomfort, maybe make some adjustments here. This should be totally fine to just sit here now. So you can begin with noticing your thoughts, noticing your feelings, just kind of checking in with ourselves, seeing what kind of a state we're in, seeing what kind of a body that we have to work with today, what kind of a mindset do we have to work with today. And wherever we are, however we're doing, it's totally fine. We are who we are where we are in our life. We're just checking in here now to make sure that we're like, okay, yeah, this is where we are. And maybe you can have some higher expectations or lower expectations, then depending on how you are. And then we're going to be trying to, of course, work with ourselves, being our own best supporter here, rather than working against ourselves and being too critical. If you'd like to set an intention for today's class, then you can do that now. Just thinking a little bit about why you're here, and maybe why you practice yoga. If there's anything specifically that you'd like to focus on today. Also notice how we're breathing. And where in our body that we're breathing. For those of you that have the internal locks, Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, can start to connect with those now. And also for those of you that have the Ujjayi breath, you can start to connect with that deeper breath now. So closing the mouth, breathing in and out through your nose, trying to open up and create this kind of H sound or whispering sound from the back of your throat. And then breathing into your chest, into your sides, and into your back. Trying to have the same length on your inhales as on your exhales. couple more breaths here for yourself. So we're going to start with some slow movements with our head, doing some yes and no movements. So thinking of having a long neck the entire time here. So when we look up, you're sending your chin up towards the ceiling. When you're coming down, you're thinking of sending your chin towards your throat. And doing some no movements, so gazing from side to side. And totally feel free to keep your eyes closed here. Last breath. And we're going to move on to our shoulders, first rolling them one way. And the other way. Last breath. Okay, very nice, guys. Moving on to our hands, so just shaking out the hands and wrists. Then you're going to take one hand, collect all the fingers and your thumb, take the other hand, grab a hold, and you can put a little bit of pressure here just so you feel a little activation in your wrist and your forearm. Then you can also go ahead and start rotating your arm a little bit and then feel how that stretch kind of moves throughout your forearm. And change hands. Change hands again, opposite way. So palm facing upwards, collect all your fingers and your thumb. Okay, so not just grab your fingers here, but grab your thumb as well. So we're really including the whole forearm. Pressing that hand back against yourself. Being careful here now and just being kind to our hands, wrists, and forearms. Okay, change sides, other hand. Okay, shaking them out. From here now, connecting our breath with movement. Breathing in here, arms are coming up towards the ceiling, lengthening out through the fingers, pulling the shoulders down. And on the exhale, we're going to twist over to our right side. So twisting here, feel that we're using our core to twist. So we're not going to grab our hands on our body to help to push deeper into it. Just here, using our body and our muscles to control the movement. Breathing in, arms up again, maybe a slight lift in the chest. Breathing out, opposite side. Breathing in back, one more time. Breathing out, coming over, noticing that we're keeping the heart and chest open here when we come into the twist. Breathe in. And out. Breathing in, back to center. Hands together, coming down in front of our hearts. Noticing again how we're feeling. Okay, very nice, guys. From here, we're gonna get ready for a Chaturanga. Coming up on our hands, knees, pushing the top of our feet down into the mat, finding a length in the spine. In with Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, a little bit in with the ribs. Inside of the elbows pointing forwards. And from here, we're gonna start to bend and move down towards the floor. Careful not to dip our shoulders. Breathing in, coming up. And one more time, coming all the way down on an exhale. And then laying down on our stomach. Getting ready for a baby cobra. Hands beside our chest, making sure our elbows aren't out to the side, but parallel. Pushing the feet down. Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, still engaged. Finding length out to the top of the head. And then from here, we're gonna engage our back to lift our chest up. Okay, so from here we should be able to lift our hands without losing any height. Breathing out, coming down. One more time. Breathe in, lift up. Maybe you want to lift your legs as well. Find length out through your toes. And breathing out, coming down. Pushing back to child's pose or balasana for a little rest here. So you can be on top of your knees or spread them out to your side. You decide. And 2 more breaths here. Breathing out, we have our hands in front of us, pushing the hands down into the mat, curving our back. And then we're going to start to straighten the knees, moving the weight into our hands. Parallel legs, we're moving into spinal waves. So from here, breathing in, arching the back, and then pushing the weight back onto our knees, breathing out, curving the back, moving forwards. Okay, so you can just follow your own tempo here, your own breath, but thinking the same length on the inhale and on the exhale. Two more. Last one. Breathing out, coming forwards. Okay, from all fours, we're going to take one leg on the outside of our hands, leaning forwards and dropping the hips and finding a little stretch in the front of our thigh. Here as well, be careful that we're not just, releasing the arms and dropping with the shoulders, but still keeping that engagement. So pushing down through the hands, inside the elbows still forwards, pulling the shoulders down, opening the chest, and finding that long, straight spine. Notice that we're also engaged in this foot that's forward, so you're pushing the whole foot and toes down, and then you're pulling this heel, you're pulling that towards you. Last breath. Breathing out, coming back to all four, and changing sides. Two. And three. Coming back to all four. We're going to lift up to downward facing dog, so lifting the knees up from the floor. Noticing the pose. Now, the length that you should have here is if you come forward to a plank position, hands under the shoulders, and then we just send the hips backwards. So trying to send the heels down towards the floor. If you have a bend in your knees, that's okay. We're working with that elongation in the legs. Straight arms, inside the elbow still forward, pushing through the arms. Mula Bandha Uddiyana Bandha's on, sending our breath into our chest. We have 3 long breaths here. 1. If you feel like you need to make some other movements, you can go ahead and do that too. Sending the hips back and forth, maybe walking the legs a little bit, if that's what your body needs here today. And 3. From here, we're going to walk the hands back. So it's not so important on getting back as fast as we can. We want to work with the weight down into our hands, pushing ourselves away from the floor constantly. Okay, so as you would walk your feet, imagine you're doing the same thing with your hands. Coming back, totally bend the knees if you need to do that. We come back here, find this little balance, and then we're going to go ahead and walk forwards again. So from a plank position, we're going to get ready and do Chaturanga one more time. You can go down on your knees if you feel like you need that. But if you're ready, stay up here. Find some length. Keep the back of the legs together. In with the stomach. Lengthen the spine. Breathing out, coming down. Chaturanga. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, lowering down. And upward facing dog on the next inhale. So top of the feet down. Pushing the top of the feet. In with the stomach. Opening the heart and chest. Breathing out, coming back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 1. 2. And 3. From here, tiger curl, so taking one leg forward with us between the hands. And dropping the other knee, finding a little stretch in the front of our thigh one more time. This length in the body, same as the first round. 1. 2. 3. So stay here for 3 more counts, or opposite or same hand as the foot, and then we're going to come into a little twist. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can bend the knee and then see if you can grab your back leg. 1, 2, 3, and exhale, drop the leg. And coming back, so reverse tiger curl, hands down, lifting up, and back down, downward facing dog. Changing sides, coming forward, so think of curving, pushing away from the floor here, placing the foot, dropping the knee. 3 breaths. 1, 2, 3, and coming into the twist, or grabbing the back foot. 1, 2, and 3. Dropping the back leg, coming back, downward facing dog. One more time, tiger curl, opposite side, so lifting up one foot, coming forward to plank, down with the foot. Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Dropping the hips, shift of weight into the feet, in with the stomach, and then arms coming up on an inhale, sending the fingertips upwards, and 3 breaths. 1, 2, try to bend the front knee, keep the hips low here, long straight spine, and 3. Slight lift of the chest, exhale, come down, changing feet. So back to down dog, left side, coming forwards, foot down, low hips, shift of weight into the feet, breathing in, arms up, and 1, 2, and 3. Breathing out, coming down, shift of weight into the hands and back, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here, walking into the pose if that feels right. Or just staying still here and breathing. Noticing your thoughts, your awareness, where you are, what are you thinking about? Are you here? Are you somewhere else? And wherever you are, that's totally fine, but we're just going to try to collect our thoughts again, our awareness, focus, to be here and now and in our body, and paying attention to what's going on. Okay, we're going to walk the hands back again to the feet. So we're really taking our time, pushing the weight down into the hands and the fingers, trying to push ourselves away from the floor the entire time. Bending the knees if you have to. Okay, and then we're going to walk back again to downward dog. And from downward dog, we're going to walk the feet forwards. So spending the time rolling through the whole foot, spreading the toes, keeping the weight in the arms here, pushing yourself away from the mat. And breathing in, find some length in your spine. Breathing out, folding over your legs. Taking a moment here, hanging over. You can fold the arms if that feels nice, bending and stretching the knees if that feels nice. Okay, we're going to get ready to come up, so finding length in the legs, breathing in, arms out to the side. Think of coming the longest way out and up to standing. Breathing out, hands coming down in front of our hearts. Breathing in, vinyasa now, arms coming up. Breathing out, coming forward, longest way. Breathe in, find some length. Breathing out, weight into the hands, and then walking, hopping, or floating back to Chaturanga. Breathing in, upward facing dog. Breathing out, coming back, downward facing. 3 breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Tiger curl, coming forward with one of the legs, placing it down, Anjaneyasana. Breathing in, coming up. And 1, 2, and 3. From here, opening up to warrior 2. So think of lengthening out through the fingers, opening up your hip and your body, finding some length out through the hands. From here, for a little bit forwards, that's fine, but we're working on opening up the hip without letting our knee fall forward, okay? So try to keep your knee pointing in the same direction as your toes. 1, pulling the shoulders down. 2, and 3. From here, half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. We can bring our hands down to our hips just for ease. And then we're gonna jump the first or the back leg forward, finding balance in our front foot here. So when you find that balance, think of straightening both the knees. Okay, finding length out through that back heel as well. In with the stomach, trying to open up and stack the hips. Then you can also add your hands if that feels right. 1, 2, and 3. Breathing out, bending the front leg or the standing leg, coming through warrior 2. Going back for peaceful warrior, so leaning forwards, breathing in, opening up the side body. 1, 2. Try not to support yourself too much here with the back arm, okay? Or especially not on your knee. You can support yourself on your thigh if you need to, but try to keep that up so we're using our muscles here. Last breath. Breathing out, big circular movements with our hands, coming back down to plank and downward dog. Okay, changing sides. Coming forwards, left foot, shift of weight, breathing in, arms up. Anjaneyasana, finding some depth, deepening down here, straightening the back leg, finding length out through the hip. 2. Little lift in the heart. And 3. Opening up warrior 2. So lifting up a little bit to open up, finding the pose. 1. Okay, where are you? What are you thinking about? What would you like to be thinking about? And breathing out, coming into half moon. So either let hands in, maybe you want to try to keep them out, keeping that length the entire time, jumping the back leg forwards, leaning into the pose, opening up the body, and 1, 2, and 3. Bending the standing leg, coming back through warrior 2, leaning forwards, come back, peaceful warrior. 1, 2, and 3. Circular motion with the hands, arms, coming back to plank, reverse tiger curls, so lifting up and back, downward facing dog. All right, very nice, guys. Coming down onto our knees for a little break and a little rest. Taking some deep breaths. Okay, last breath. And back, downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna walk the hands again, back to our feet. A little bit faster this time, and then walking the hands back again. From here, walking the feet. Thinking of taking 4 or 5 steps, and then we're going to go down into a squat. Now you might want to come into Malasana. It can be a little bit easier to come down, or you just keep your legs where they were. Coming into a squat, hands coming back. We're going to walk back to reverse tabletop. So coming with our hands back, thinking hands under your shoulders, feet under your knees, breathing in, opening the heart and chest, pushing up, keeping the legs parallel, so not letting them go out to the side. And breathing out, dropping the hips, walking the hands forward again. Coming up, straightening the knees, hands down, shift of weight, pushing away, walking the feet, back to down dog. Breathing, gaze forwards. Breathing out, bending the knees. And walking, hopping, or floating forwards to our hands. Breathe in, find some length. Breathing out, folding over. Breathing in, coming up. All right, guys, very nice. One more round, a little bit more flow this time. Breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, folding forwards. Breathing in, gaze. Breathing out, weight into the hands. Bending, hop, jump, walk. Whatever floats your boat here. Breathing in, upward dog. And out. Downward dog. Three-legged dog this time. So the first leg that you took, we're breathing in, lifting up, first parallel hips, and then opening the hips, pointing the foot, bending the knee, coming into scorpion. From here, tiger curl, coming forwards, pushing away, placing the foot down, breathing in, crescent lunge, breathing out, warrior two, coming into half moon pose, bending the standing leg, woo, coming back, peaceful warrior, and coming back down to plank. Other side, breathing in first, three-legged dog, parallel hips, opening the hips, bending the knee, coming forwards, tiger curl, foot's coming down, Anjaneyasana, breathing in, come up, breathing out, opening up warrior two, coming forwards, half moon pose, breathing out, coming down, peaceful warrior, circular motion, lifting up and back, walking the hands right away. Remember, keep pushing away from the floor here, keep breathing, and walking forwards again. Probably feeling this in your shoulders. And walking the feet forwards, spreading those toes, coming down into a squat. Remember here, or malasana, you decide. Hands behind you, walking back to reverse tabletop. Breathing in, opening the heart and chest. Breathing out, drop the hips one more time. Breathing in, open the heart and chest. And breathing out, dropping the hips, coming down. Very nice, guys. Taking a moment here, take a few breaths. It's a nice moment to remind yourself of your intention for today. Just noticing how it's going without judging yourself. Okay, getting ready for Navasana, boat pose. Finding your balance on your butt. Trying to lift up your legs. Maybe you just have your toes down, that's fine. Maybe holding your legs here too. Or we're coming up. Straightening out the arms, we're gonna do this a few times, so don't worry about that, about going into the full pose right away. You're gonna have another opportunity to. So from here, dropping the legs back down, coming into half bridge, so in with the stomach, curving the back. I like to send my fingers forwards here as a kind of counterweight, rolling down. Arms along the side, palms down, fingertips just tickling our heels. And then we're gonna push the arms down, okay, opening the chest, keep the knees the same distance apart, while we lift the hips up towards the sky. 1. Breath into our chest. 2. And 3. Breathing out, bringing everything in the front in, curving the back, rolling down, grabbing your legs, rocking a little bit back and forth, and we're gonna come up to sitting and maybe straight into Navasana. Okay, if not, you come up, spend a moment, do what you need to do, and then find Navasana. From here, stay here, or join me down to half Navasana, half boat pose. So we're gonna straighten the legs out, bringing the stomach and the ribs in, lowering ourselves down, and then coming straight back up again. Feet coming down, and then rolling back for either half bridge or full bridge this time. So you decide. If you've never done bridge before, maybe don't do it now. You should try to, or you should really know what you're doing when you're going up in bridge, because it can be a bit much for your wrists and your neck and maybe a few other body parts too. So kind of depending on where you are today. So same beginning, measure, find the distance, hands coming on the outside of your ears. Now if bridge is a little bit difficult for you, then you might want to have your feet a little bit further away, and then maybe your hands a little bit further away as well. Noticing that our elbows and knees aren't going out to the side. So pushing the hands and feet down to start, Hips coming up. Maybe we just lift up to the top of our head. Maybe we stay here, not resting on the head, but still pushing down through the hands. Or maybe we come further up so we straighten out the arms and then start straightening out the elbows as well. 1, 2, and 3. Breathing out, coming down. Top of the head, curving the back. Remember, same as before, so tucking everything in, rolling down, grabbing the legs, rocking a little bit back and forth, side to side. Okay, coming back up to sitting, maybe straight into Navasana. So rock a little bit, maybe a couple times if you need to. Coming up, finding Navasana. We do it with straight legs this time. So one final round here. Breathing in, find that length, breathing out. Maybe coming down, half boat, length out through there, out through your top of your head. Breathing in, coming up, feet down and lowering down. Okay, getting ready for bridge. Finding the distance, the length. Maybe you just do half bridge. Okay, maybe if you're getting a bit tired, just take a break for a moment. So you can even pause the video. Of course, this is just a video on YouTube. So whatever you need. Finding the pose. And breathing in, coming up. Breathing out, coming back down, curving the back. Sorry, it's hard to count sometimes when you're all the way up there. Grabbing the legs. Then we're going to start to take it a little bit slower, a little bit more easy, calming down the body a little bit as we're ending, or as we're getting closer towards the end of the class. Coming back up to sitting in your own tempo here. Getting ready for forward fold or push-in with Uttanasana. So legs out in front of you. You can have a bend in your knees here if that feels better for you, but at least knees, toes pointing straight up. Breathing in, finding some length in your spine. And on the exhale, we're just gonna fold forward. So maybe you don't grab your feet, maybe you just have your hands beside you here, a little bit behind you, pushing yourself forward. If you have a band or a strap, that's cool to grab a hold to help to pull yourself forward. Or maybe you can grab your feet. And I mean, either way here, it doesn't really matter. So breathing in, finding some length, and trying to keep that length as we pull ourselves forward. 1. We're gonna do 5 breaths here. 2. 3. 4. Deep breaths. And 5. Okay, releasing the pose. A little vinyasa, a down dog. So crossing the legs. So yogi's choice, you can send your legs out around or try to jump through or just roll over. Whatever works for you. I'm gonna opt for the jumping back version. From downward facing dog, lowering the knees down and preparing for headstand or Shishasana. So if you haven't done headstands before, just, no pressure, just take it in your own tempo and definitely don't go too quickly forwards, okay? But if you have done headstands before, we're just gonna go in Shishasana, we're gonna come up and then lower the legs a couple of times if you'd like to. And if not, then you can just go in, find your balance and stay there. But with lowering and straightening the legs, then we're working a little bit more with, it's a bit more challenging, working with the balance here on our arms. And then also it's working your core a bit extra. Okay, so measuring, grabbing each elbow, interlacing the fingers, coming down. So keep this triangle, so when we go forwards here, make sure that you don't open up your elbows, yeah? Pushing down through the forearms and your hands the entire time. Finding the top of your head, so not like here, where your forehead is, or like where the hairline is. It's very common for people to go down there. Try to find more the top of your head. I just gotta try to straighten up my shirt here and not rub the microphone so much. Okay, let's try now. So top of the head down, pushing through the arms, coming up. So maybe you just stay here and work on lifting your knees. And if this is fine, then we're gonna start to walk our feet a little bit in and thinking of sending your butt up towards the sky. Okay, we're using our core here to control. Pushing through the forearms, and eventually you'll notice the weight starts to leave your feet. So maybe we stay here, work with one foot at a time, or we can start to send both legs up towards the ceiling. So stay here or lower and straighten a few times as you wish. Few more breaths. And on the next exhale, we're going to start to come down. Slowly, 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 full of control. And then we'll meet in child's pose, Balasana.
Think about me one more time before you go.
2 more breaths. From here, we're going to slowly come out of child's pose to a very nice calm vinyasa, to laying down. So just taking all the time that you need. I like to spend, or really start to slow down my body and slow down the movements towards the end of the class here, to already now begin to calm myself down and prepare the body for rest. So laying down on our back, soles of our feet on the mat, knees pointing up. We're going to go into a little spinal twist, so just dropping the knees down to one side, straightening out the other arm, and then gazing over the hand that's straight. Trying to keep your both shoulder blades, so your whole back, right? Or not your whole back, but your upper back on the mat, and then dropping the knees down. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can think of collecting the legs. But then notice here when you start collecting the legs that you don't start lifting your chest up, yeah? Or the other shoulder. And 5 breaths here. 1. 2. So really releasing any tensions that you can here. 3. And just allowing this pose to take it the space that it needs in your body. And 5. Gently bringing the legs up. We can use the one hand for support if we need it. And then changing sides. 5 breaths. 1. 2. 3. 4. 'Still just being present. Last breath. So just noticing what's going on, being curious, without judgment. Bring the legs up. We're going to go into butterfly for a moment. So bring the soles of the feet together, dropping both knees down to the side. So again, a little stretch in the inside of our thighs here. So you can judge where you want your feet, if you want them further away or closer. But I'd recommend having them in a place where you can feel that it's doing some work in stretching. So your hands, they can be on your legs as an extra support, extra weight to push them down, or maybe just have them down out to your side. Or you can even have your arms over your head in cactus arms. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, guys. Slowly collecting the legs. We're going to prepare for Shavasana next. So resting. If you need to put on any extra clothes, you can go ahead and do that. What we're going to do is we're just going to straighten out both legs. It's nice to have a little bit of space between your legs. Just let the knees and toes fall out to the side. Arms also out to the side where they can relax, palms facing upwards. Try to get nice and comfortable here. We'll be here for about 3 minutes now. Of course, you can stay longer if you want to. And if you feel like, oh, this is difficult, you're losing patience, then maybe just come up to sitting, maybe finish the class, or just take a few moments in meditation. So releasing Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, releasing the Ujjayi breath, just letting the body breathe exactly what it needs. And feel that you're relaxing your feet and your legs, and letting all of the weight of your legs just sink down into your mat. Relaxing your hips, your stomach, your back and chest. Your hands and arms, just dropping all the weight down into the floor. Your head and face, your jaw, around your eyes, your forehead, completely relaxed. And just being here and noticing how everything feels. Okay, everyone, you can start to come back from where we are, moving the toes and the hands. Maybe do a little bit of stretching your arms over your head, And when you're ready and in your own tempo, collect your legs, rolling over to one side. And just taking a moment in the fetal position. Bring your knees and your legs in quite close. Maybe you're going to rest your head on one of your hands as a pillow. And from here, just using only the energy that we need and coming up to sitting. So finding a nice, comfortable sitting position. Feel free to keep your eyes closed the entire time here. Find some length in your spine. Dropping the gaze. If you set an intention for today, you can take a moment and notice how this class was. And without judging here, just being aware. And yoga is a very powerful tool to help us in our lives, to help guide us, keep us safe, healthy, focused, and helps teach us how to face the different challenges that we meet in our life. So you can be proud of coming here today, of practicing, giving yourself this gift. So you can give yourself a big thank you, pat on the back. For joining me today. Collecting our hands in front of our heart. And bowing our head. Bring our hands to our third eye. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for today. Whew. All right. So as usual, I love to hear from you guys how the class was. You can send me a message or write a little comment below. And I'd also like to let you guys know that if you would like to deepen your practice or take your practice to the next level, I do teach private classes and group classes, so both online through like video calls or in private. So if you're interested in that, then just get in touch with me. So that can also be in the comments below, or Instagram, or my website, yogawithleif.com. All right, guys, I look forward to hearing from you. Peace, namaste, and have a fantastic day.